Okay, we are live. Welcome, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We have people from all over the world, colleagues who are from Bhutan, a beautiful country. We have people from across the African continent, from Europe. Switzerland is in the house. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to our esteemed guests, our speakers, and participants joining us from across Africa, as I mentioned, and the world. I am going to be your moderator, your discussion facilitator today. My name is Dr. Machachi Ramawela. Please don't struggle with my name. A lot of people struggle because it's a name influenced by the indigenous languages here in South Africa. So I am from South Africa, and it is my absolute pleasure to be your moderator for today's dynamic and essential discussion. Before we dive in, a few brief housekeeping notes for all of us. Please ensure your microphones are muted throughout the presentation to minimize the background noise, which is very disturbing, as you know, for when someone is speaking. We encourage you to use the chat box to introduce yourselves, share your location, and connect with fellow attendees, because you are not only here as speakers and guests just to grace us, but you are also here to network, to also meet other fellow attendees from across the world, hopefully to do some business going forward. So please use the chat box to introduce yourselves, also to pose some questions. Between Dr. Soltani and myself, we will look at the chat box here and there to see what are some of the issues that you are raising. So if you have a question for our panelists, please use the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen, or you can post it in the chat box, as I've mentioned. We will dedicate time towards the end of the session to address as many of your questions as possible. So let me introduce the topic to you today. We are meeting today to listen to a selection of some dynamic women from across the African continent who are going to speak about being in the leadership positions, whether in the corporate world of the tourism sector or being entrepreneurs or business owners. And so today the focus is about women. Let them share their journeys. Let them share the lessons that they want other women and to learn about being a woman, an African woman entrepreneur and an executive in the tourism industry in Africa, but also interacting with the world. So to get that started, I thought I'll share a few thoughts with you, hopefully to inspire our speakers to latch on from it. So the tourism sector is a cornerstone of economic development across the African continent, so as it is in many, many other developing nations. Crucially, women form the majority of the tourism workforce in many regions. It's the same here in South Africa, and I think even in the developed nations, it is the same. Yet, despite this high representation, their presence in executive suites and as owners of high-growth enterprise often lags behind. This gap represents not just a fairness issue, but a tremendous missed economic opportunities, because women are the carriers of all of us. They bring all of us into this into this world. They nurture us. They care for us. They keep the homes. They cook for us. They do all sorts of things. So we are who we are, a lot of us, because of the women in our lives, whether they are our mothers, whether they are our sisters, our partners, but women play a very important role in our societies. So is men, because we all have roles in society, because society without these sexes working together, it will not be successful or be productive. So our goal today is to move beyond simply acknowledging the challenges that women face. We are here to celebrate the courage, innovation, and unwavering determination of the African woman who is already leading, building, and reshaping this industry. We will explore what truly inclusive growth looks like and identify concrete strategies to accelerate women's leadership and entrepreneurial success in tourism. I want to take this opportunity to ask Dr. Reza to be ready to talk to us about the organizers of this event, an organization I'm proud to be associated with, the Institute of Tourism. Dr. Soltani, let me give you 2 minutes to just briefly talk to our audience about our institute and the work that we do.
Thank you so much. Maybe at the end I will round up because we have many speakers. Let's let the ladies first to talk, if you don't mind.
I was thinking because some people may leave us before, so I thought maybe you can take 1 minute to just talk about the Institute without going into a lot of details. But it's okay if you want to do it in the end. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have 9 women who are coming from corporates, and some are business owners who are going to share with us their own experiences in their own words of their journeys within the tourism industry in the African continent. And to get us started, we have a good friend, a trailblazer in the Ghanaian business tourism sector. I hope she's on. I haven't looked at my screen. Deborah Nelson Jane. She's going to get us started in this presentation. Debbie, if you are in the audience, the stage is yours. I don't want to take the limelight for you to introduce yourself and say who you are in the interest of time, but the stage is yours if you are in the audience, Deborah. Deborah? Is Deborah Jane Nelson in the audience? Anybody? Has anybody seen Debbie? Maybe she's struggling to connect. Maybe she's struggling to connect. I wonder what's going on. So, Professor Diane Abrams, are you ready? Are you ready to take on the stage? I know you did not want to start. I also know you have a time limitation. As an academic, she's a lecturer. She runs a business school, the Johannesburg School of Tourism and Hospitality. I think you are used to do this, my leader. I want to give the stage over to you to get us started. Professor Diane Abrams, over to you.
Thanks, Program Director. Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, or good day, should I say. I'm Diane Abrams, and I'm not a business owner, and I'm not in corporate, but I do have the opportunity to work with young minds at the university that are in the tourism and hospitality space. So maybe just a little bit of my own journey. I'm an economic geographer by trade, and I got into the tourism and hospitality sector in the early 2000s as I was working in the city. So my interest has always been around city development and economic development. And the space I found myself in is where we were preparing the host city for the 2010 World Cup. And that's really where I cut my teeth with the tourism and hospitality stakeholders, because it was all about readiness. And the key thing to an event like that was around tourism and hospitality and how we upped our food and beverage offering in a country. Fast forward to around 2011, I got myself into the University of Johannesburg, where I'm heading the School of Tourism and Hospitality. And that to date, I'm still in this position, has been a very interesting journey for me. One, in terms of transformation, change, and growth. And I say those things because stepping into this space, you came into a space where an institution that is having to deal with both vocational programs and more academic quality. I found there to be a little bit of tension. So there was an absolute perception that tourism and hospitality wasn't real academic work, and so needing to change that. Because why do we need to train cookie bakers and caterers? That was almost sort of the perception, or travel agents. And so the journey we embarked on was really then, together with industry, how we recurriculated. Engage around growing the programs, and really our journey has been how we mainstream tourism. We know that it's not a first choice, and it's all the perceptions around what happens in the sector. And so our journey has been, and it continues to be, around mainstreaming tourism, because it is a game changer. It is an opportunity, a sector that we get in. The majority of my students are female. So my journey has also been, I've seen that change, and many of them go into industry, and the females very soon leave industry. We've also seen many of, and that has changed over time. The retention is a little bit better. We've also changed our approach in terms of teaching, in terms of tourism, that it's not about employment seeking in the sector only, that it's employment creation. So the entrepreneurial focus is really changed in terms of how we want young people to see it. And so, yes, there's been challenges on this journey. I think we've surprised them as the School of Tourism Hospitality, in terms of being one of the smallest schools in the university. And I often, as a woman, I'm not sure why when we do well, people are surprised, but that is sort of a general sense we get. And yes, the struggles of sort of, I maybe put it very loosely, but sort of in academia, you also still find the boys' club, as you find generally, and it's, different shades of it, I said, whether you find that in the industry as well. So how do we prepare a new generation of graduates that can go out there and actually change the sector? I'm very excited about the new generation that we find in class. It is challenging, and all the generational discussions we often have, the Gen X's and like myself and the millennials and the Gen Z's in the class, how that plays out. And I think that also plays out in industry. But that brings for us absolute opportunities around how we build. I mean, this Gen Z in the class, the kind of confidence, the creativity, the innovation that comes in. And like I said, majority are also female students that I have. So very excited about what that will bring for us, because I think the big change in our country and on the continent, I think globally, is how we get more entrepreneurs in the sector. And those challenges, we need to chip away together, the stuff that I sort of alluded to. I think for me, my journey has also said that as women, we build, and I think we build together. And that's why I'm excited about being part of a network and an alliance of schools on the continent, where we try and sort of tackle the challenges together with industry that is hampering some of the progress we want to make. I don't want to, because academics, if you give us time, we could sort of start writing a paper while we're talking. But yeah, just sharing some of my experiences, and I've operated in different spaces whilst being in academia. But I think there's such great opportunity just emerging from the generation that we're seeing there. And I think those of us with, I don't say age, but those of us with wisdom, how we shouldn't be burdening the next generation, and really help them chip away at the opportunities that are there for them. Program director, I think I'll pause at that place and maybe hear from the kind of questions what else you'd like me to share with the audience. But let's pause there at the moment.
Okay, sorry, I put myself on mute. Let me get back, because I'm trying to facilitate some of the speakers that are not online as yet. So, Prof, thank you so much for sharing this. Let's use just 1 minute, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions you want to ask while we prepare our next speaker, who is Cordelia Masha. She is from Destination Mozambique. She just told me she's logging in at the moment. Anybody who wants to raise a question while we wait? Just unmute if you want to ask a question. Just unmute to ask the professor. Prof, I don't see any hands. No, yeah, I think you were clear in terms of what you wanted to say.
Yes,
so,
clear as
do you want
mud.
to conclude?
Clear as mud, or just maybe people are processing. But like I said, I think I'm very excited, program director, about as women we build together. And if we are making up the sector, how do we help create these opportunities for the next generation, and just sort of chip away at these challenges that we have. We have them in academia, we have them in corporate, we have them in government. I mean, we'll hear from the government partners as well. But mine is always just put your head down and just do, and the results will show. And my experience in heading the school has been that. And I think it bodes true for any sector where you find yourself in. If the passion is there and the purpose is there, the results will come. Thanks, Program Director.
Thank you so much. If there's any question, there it's in the box, Prof, because I know you have a time limitation. Just please look at the chat box and have a look if there's some questions for you there. Before you leave, maybe you can respond to them. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We're moving on to our next speakers. My speakers are running a bit late. Some of them are having a bit of struggle. So what I'm going to do, please, the speakers that I see who are on here, I will call on you. Please pardon me on that. I trust that you're ready. You know, as ladies, we talked about how ready we need to be, ready to be able to go. So, Siam, I'm going to come to you. You were supposed to be our fourth speaker. Siam from Morocco. She's our next speaker to join the floor. I don't want to talk about her. She will introduce herself. She will do a better job of speaking about who she is and what she's done, and most importantly, the lesson that she has for us. Siam, over to you, my lady. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me today. Good day, or good morning, good afternoon, good evening for everyone. Thank you for being here. This is a way to prove that you are supporting the women and what they are doing all over the world. My name is Siham, and I am based in Morocco, that's in North Africa, and I have my business that is under the name Morocco Travel Organizer. I am also the first woman in Morocco that specializes in culinary and luxury heritage tours. And this journey, of course, has not been that easy or that bright as the way that I'm sharing it. Of course, like there are struggles on the way, there are challenges, there are a lot of like things that as a woman you face while you're building like your business. So I've been into the tourism industry for more than a decade, and I've been part of another company. And after COVID hit, that was like my turnover. That was the time for me to start thinking, what shall I do next? Or how shall I grow like what my dream next? So I decided to pause for 2 years and just do like freelance basis work until I started my own company. The start has not been that easy on itself. So the moment that I decided to start a business, like there were a lot of challenges that as a woman, like to open her business in tourism, like I was about for my company to be declined. That's the first like situation that I faced. However, thanks to my accountant, who was a woman at the same time, she actually took over and then went above and beyond until she got my company legit in Morocco. So that was the first challenge. Then later on, just like building an authority here, it does take time because I'm dealing mostly with men as women. Like I would say, like women working in Morocco and leading businesses, we are just few. And who we're dealing the most are men. That means drivers, guides, like in terms of speaking with hotels, all of that. So like it takes a while for your voice to be respected and heard. That's what it is. And I'm glad that I came to that stage and actually like defeated like little by little. Of course, there are still some challenges. However, we're always like doing our best. What I'm leading here, like what I'm leading like culinary journeys. So that means I'm going on my own and I'm meeting homeowners, I'm meeting farm owners, I'm meeting like many people, and I'm trying to build something creative and new. So I have cooking classes, so that means an invitation to what it's behind the door. So I take travelers inside and they meet a family and they sit with them, they share with them the time, they share with them the table, they share with them the food, and of course the stories. I also like to take people to farms so they can harvest what is available on the day, and then from there create their own meal. So like we don't know the meal until we go to that farm. So it's farm to table, or let's say right now it's farm to cave experience, because recently I started taking people to the cave to enjoy this experience. I've been a foodie expert myself in the Medina for 12 years, and that means that I have led hundreds and hundreds of travelers like in the Medina, showing them the history of food, the history of Morocco through food. And I'm not using like I would say fancy restaurants or all of that. I'm using local vendors. So the idea is to connect to the country through like it's local. It's all about being local, and I am a local, and this is like the concept of what I'm trying to create here in this part of world. Thank you for listening for my journey. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to share, and thank you for having me as well today.
Thank Thank you so much, Liam. Absolutely representing Morocco very well.
Thank
We
you.
wish you could be preparing all those culinary delights so we can taste what they are like. We really thank you so much. Please, please, please watch on the chat box to see if there are any questions. But anybody just want, because she's done so well with her time. There's a hand up. Vera, you have a question for CM, please. Vera, unmute.
Yes, I do have a question. Good afternoon from Lagos, Nigeria to everyone. I just really, not really like a question, I just wanted to comment her to say well done, because just hearing your story, that's a journey. You're breaking barriers. Well done. And I
Oh,
also
thank you.
wanted to find out, are you open, do you embrace collaboration outside your space? Because I know that collaboration, it's one way to hustle or go through the struggles. Just the question. But
Yeah,
overall, well done.
thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Vera.
much.
CM, yes.
Yeah.
Open for collaboration. Huh?
Yeah, thank you so much, Vera. Of course, I'm open for collaboration. I'm open for networking. This is what I am here today, and this is a proof of how open I am for that. Thank you, Vera.
Thank you so much. Please, Vera, exchange your contacts with CM in the audience. CM, please post your information. As I mentioned, this is a marketing platforms, ladies. We do business everywhere, anywhere. So thank you so much. Stay on board, CM, don't leave. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see we're running fast on this. Please pardon us. And I've mentioned to our speakers, please, we have people speaking different languages on this platform. Some of them, the countries where they speak English, we speak fast because we use it, we're used to it. Some are not very fast with the English language. Let's go easy when we speak to them so they can understand and follow the discussion. So, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to also call on the stage to a good friend. I don't want to say too many things. She works very hard on Destination Mozambique. Cordelia, Masha, please take the floor. And please just don't start about Destination Mozambique. Talk about your time when you were in the financial space. Over to you, Cordelia.
Thanks so much, Matsatsi. Lovely to meet you all. And Siam, I am heading out to Morocco to you. You sound super exciting. Your trips, your experiences sound amazing. And that's really what we want to get to, is showing the best of Africa in the way that you do. Just as Matsatsi said, I mustn't just speak about Destination Mozambique. I actually have scheduled myself to talk to you a little bit about, and I've structured it in the way of talking about my hindsight of what I'm looking back at the years, my career, as well as insight, what I've gleaned out of that, and foresight for the youth that we want to talk to and what opportunities there are in tourism. So going back many moons to when I was a bean counter, I started my career as an accountant and eventually ended up in the finance banking space. But what was important for me in those years as an accountant auditor is that it taught me a lot about, aside from finance, about disciplines and processes and systems and governance. And very often as entrepreneurs, we're so filled with passion for whatever we want to do that the compliance and the governance, we sort of put it on the side and say, yes, we'll get to it. For me, I found that to be an important strength, and I would love to be able to say in terms of foresight to the youth out there that even though that may seem a bit of boring work, it lays a great foundation for you to do that bit of work first, because it helps you to understand when people are talking to you and you're expanding your business and you're talking to cash flows and forecasts and all of that, and people are like, they love what they do, but they don't understand whether it's making money or not for them. So that's my sort of the background of my finance journey. I eventually ended up working for a big bank in South Africa on tourism deals, so helping to fund beautiful hotels and tourism entities and so forth. And that's the tourism bug bit. I met somebody that wanted me to help them with a fledgling property out here in Mozambique. It was brand spanking new. And again, he was an entrepreneur that loved the idea of a tourism space, a hotel. It sounded very glamorous. until he got stuck with the processes and is it making financial sense? And he needed it to wipe its own face, as in it needed to pay its own bills. So I came along, and that's when I started in Mozambique a good 12 or 13 years ago, and enjoyed the fact that I was able to sort of dip my toes into the entrepreneurial space. Coming from the banks, you get a set salary, life is good, you know, you just tick along with a salary every month and you don't have the hustle that Sam was talking about. And when I got into the hotel, I realized the difficulty and the effort it is to either make business work in terms of marketing that business, rallying people around an idea and a vision. Fortunately, I had an absolutely amazing team, and we were able to create a dream experience for guests. And really, that is what it's all about. Again, as Siam's trajectory, 2020, COVID hit, and I needed to be back home in South Africa. So I moved out from that and had to start my own company, but I still loved Mozambique, what it had to offer, and there was a huge gap. So I also recommend to the youth of today is don't just be looking at conventional jobs. I come from an Indian family in South Africa, and in order to consider yourself a success back in the day, you either needed to be a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, or an accountant. Those were the four options. That's not the case for the youth today. You can be anything. I know of a young boy who is an engineer that has started out a gin distillery in Victoria Yards in Johannesburg. So it just shows that you can use different skill sets and put them into different places. And I urge the youth to think laterally, look at gaps in that. And I had spotted some gaps as well, that Mozambique was not fully marketed and not well known on the global platform. So I started a company. I rallied up a whole lot of properties in Mozambique, and we did a bit of private sector marketing of the country. And eventually this business has now changed a little bit more. And that's also the entrepreneur journey, is the way you start your journey doesn't mean you're going to stick with only that. Your business also grows organically. And I experienced that where tour operators and agents started to say, but can't you book this for us? Can't you send a group across for us, please? And I eventually started a portion of the business, which is a destination management company, bringing fabulous groups from South Africa, big groups, between 40 up to 60, 90 people as a group into Mozambique, coordinating all their time, beautiful experiences. From Sunset Lake tours where you can watch whales on the one side, all at one place, Whales, two of the biggest animals in the world, whales on one side, and you turn your head and you see an elephant on the other side. So it's just such a pleasure, you know, when your work is your joy, it's something else. And that's what I experienced in terms of Destination Mozambique. And I'm happy to say we currently, that's why I was a little bit late, so forgive me for that. We're currently acquiring a hotel at the moment. So I was busy liaising with a few people, and I'm so thrilled and excited about that. And yeah, that's my journey. And going in from AI's perspective, you know, people are talking so much about AI being a disruptor, and that in hospitality, we're actually safe because human interaction is such an important component of our work that it's going to be difficult for AI to sort of intercept and disrupt us. But what I do want to leave as a message to the youth is there are portions of this process or the customer journey that AI can definitely help with. And they need to figure those out and make sure that they utilize that. And we leverage the human component of tourism so that we can be the humans in this and let the AI deal the AI stuff. So that's all I want to say is there is lots of opportunity in Africa, especially in tourism, and the youth must just have their eyes open and be willing to take up that challenge. That's it from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cordelia. You can see, ladies and gentlemen, she's on site. She's in Mozambique, She should show
Yes.
those beautiful pictures of the beautiful Mozambican coastline. So thank you, Cordelia, for joining us. Please don't leave, because I'm sure there are people who have some questions about whether they want to come to Mozambique. You can facilitate for them. Whether, if you want to raise some funding, because there may be some people who have money. So please stick around and watch the chat box for any question directed to you. And please leave your own contact information there as well. Thank you, Cordelia. A quick
Thank-
question for Cordelia from someone, anybody who want to jump in quickly? Going once, going twice, going third. Okay, Cordelia, hang 10. Questions will come through, please, and we can take it forward.
Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're moving very fast on this session here, and you can see the ladies are really inspiring us. I'm full of energy, and I'm full of inspiration here. So our next speaker, ladies and gentlemen, because I've changed the order, because we're looking at people who are struggling with the low, getting on board. So my speaker panel, please pardon me. As I see you coming in, I'll be calling you onto the stage. So our next speaker hails from Kenya. A good friend as well, Miss Anne Abuya. She has a very interesting journey. Anne, I'm not going to talk about your journey. The stage is yours. Anne Abuya, please unmute yourself and take the stage.
Okay, I'm here now. Sorry, I was speaking,
There
but
you
then it was
go.
muted.
Wonderful.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here. I'm probably the only Gen Z speaker. Yeah, but pleasure. Nice insights I'm hearing from the other speakers. Let me just share my screen so that I'm able to present. Okay. Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah. Everyone can see this? Hello. Okay.
Hi, Anne.
Yes,
Yes,
it's
we can see
visible.
you.
Can you see this?
Yes, we can.
Okay, amazing. So I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Miss Anne. I come from a beautiful country called Kenya. Of course, we are an East African country. And my journey into business has been quite interesting. I was a wedding planner before, and today I just want to speak about storytelling and branding. Right now, I own a company called Mandari Blooms, where we export flowers. I know that a lot of you know about this. So this is how we go into the business of tourism, because our flowers travel beyond borders. We have exported to different countries, not just in Africa, but to Europe and other nations as well. So let me go down to Mandari Blooms and what I'm here to teach today. I know I can speak a lot. Today's focus is about storytelling and branding. As you can see, this is me on the image. I'm very good on how to present yourself as an individual. So, the power of storytelling. So, storytelling is not just decoration. So, as I started by telling you guys that I come from a country called Kenya, and I was an event planner before. So, this is me taking you through a foundation of connection. And for you to tell the right story, you have to tell the right people and, of course, at the right time. So, at Mandari Blooms, we specialize in high-end flowers, and I keep on telling clients all the time and insisting that we curate extraordinary experiences by dealing with extraordinary individuals who want extraordinary experiences through their flowers. As you can see, this is what our flowers look like. I'm just reading through the messages that are coming into the chat box. Yeah, so branding is the soul of your business, and it has to be told consistently. You can't say you're branding and you're not as consistent. So for example, if your deco business is it's not just what you do. The kind of business that you're going to venture in is not just what you do, it's also who you are, and it's why you get to do it. So these stories, when they're told, they make it they make the brand memorable, trustworthy, and premium. So, for example, I named the company Mandari after my great grandmother, who was a businesswoman, and she was quite popular and known for her level of grit and determination. And this is the story that I tell all the other time when I'm presenting myself. So I'm also just going to speak lightly about blooming as an individual. And a lot of people, I understand that you guys are in different industries, but it's very important for you to know when it's time for you to bloom. I really do believe that in business, there's a money-making skill, and you shouldn't be too busy not to be too busy caught up in the operations of the business. And that's why I always insist that the moment you start a business, you need to start by delegating the operations so that you can focus on the most important parts. So when it comes to you blooming as an individual, before a business blooms, you as an individual, you must bloom. So it means that you must be self-aware and to know what are your unique gifts and values. And you have to be consistent enough to show up authentically every other time. It's also very important for you to have a growth mindset that just as flowers, you're going to need some pruning, some tender care, and so does your career. I truly believe that your career needs that. And your story as a creative is your most powerful tool. So Mandari Blooms recently registered in Johannesburg, South Africa. And so we have direct access to serve the South African luxury, event, decor, flower market. And our promise is to give you an end-to-end delivery right from the Kenyan farms. You can be able to hold our blooms in South Africa on your tables and installations, and anywhere you are in the world, it is very possible. So every stem of ours carries not just the beauty, but it's also a narrative of our Kenyan culture, our Kenyan craftsmanship, and our care. And most importantly, when you choose to support us as Mandari Blooms, you're not just supporting me as an individual. There's so many women behind Mandari Blooms, the women at the farms, the women taking care and tending to these flowers. So many families are being impacted just by you being able to support us. So I'll end by a few things that I need you guys to remember is that you need to first off find your story. What makes your work different in whatever you get to do? Then number two, you need to build your brand around that story, that every touch point should echo that story that you're going to tell. And remember to also be authentic. You cannot tell a story when the story is vague, when the story is not clear, and when the story is wrong and false. You need to tell your own story. Thirdly, you need to invest in yourself. So be just like I said before your company blooms, you have to bloom as an individual. You have to think global, just as we have on Mandari Blooms. I was an event planner and decorator before, but look at me now, I have bloomed, and I just truly wanted a business where I can have some more freedom and I can touch more people from different countries. And this is the business that allows me to do that. So if flowers can travel from Kenya to wherever you are in the world, to Johannesburg, to Zambia, to Mauritius and whatnot, your brand can also travel beyond the city that you're in and truly in. I'll end by one of my favorite quotes, and you guys need to check out this lady on YouTube because she teaches a lot on storytelling and branding. Her name is Andrea. I'm going to zoom in. Andrea Ippolito. You can just write that down. She's a luxury event planner based in Miami. if
I'm sorry,
not
would
wrong.
you please round up because we are going over
Okay.
time. Thank you.
Okay. I'm ending. I was actually finishing. Luxury is not about more, it's about meaning. So thank you so much, everyone. And yeah, you can check us out on mandariblooms.com. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anne. We appreciate you joining us, and with all that experience that came from being an event planner, that's where Anne and I met. She's very much big into the wedding space, which is part of our event and business tourism industry, as you all know. So, Anne, thank you so much for that. If you got a question for Anne, please, in the chat box, because we're managing time. As you can see, Dr. Soltani just chipped in there. So I asked my speakers to stick to that time in there. So hang around, and if people have got some questions for you. Our next speakers for our French-speaking audience is hails from the Côte d'Ivoire. His name is Lara Dupré. I hope I've said it correctly. Lara, you are in the audience. I saw in our chat here. Please take over the stage and talk to us.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So it's such a pleasure being here today and share my experience. So just to give you some insight, I was born and raised in Côte d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, and I'm the 4th generation of my family working here. So it's been a long time. We are Ivorian today and very proud to be Ivorian. To let you know more about me, I studied hospitality in Paul Bocuse Institute in French. In 2016, and I remember by the time the first day you go to the school, they give you a piece of paper and ask you, what do you want to be in life? And in 2016, I write on a piece of paper, later in my career, I would love to come back to Africa and open an hotel chain starting in Ivory Coast. I will tell you my story now. I remember my parents refused. They told me, we don't want you to come back to Ivory Coast. We want you to go work all around the world, do your experiences in different hotels and stuff. And that's what I've done during my internship with the vision and the goal to come back one day. And this day was during COVID. The last year of study, I studied entrepreneurship. So that was my specialization for the last year. And I worked on the project of opening a hotel of 57 key named Aïchti Hotel in Côte d'Ivoire. And in January 2021, meaning straight after my study, because I started my study in 2016, I opened Aïchti Hotel with my 10 figures. So it was a crazy experience, I can say. I'm an entrepreneur. It's been 5 years now. I did a lot of projects in Ivory Coast. So first Aïchti Hotel, 57 key hotel. The first year during COVID, we did 60% occupancy. The second year, we did 75%. And in 3 years and a half, we had the return of investment of this very beautiful project. After that, I did a consulting company because I had a lot of demand from my customers asking me, could you please help me do this hotel and stuff? So I was like, okay, let's just open a company doing some consulting, giving advice to people and stuff. So I've done that. And I've got a new opportunity to open a second hotel 2 years and a half after opening Aïchti. So this one is named Le Palais d'Aqua. It's a boutique hotel. In the beginning, the main focus was the room and the restaurant. So we did great the first year, but after the vision was bigger than this. With the land that we're having, it's a very big land. So we started to do the event as well. And we started the catering. So in 1 year and a half, now it's been 1 year and a half, we're having this hotel and this project. Now we are on the top 3 catering company in Ivory Coast. So meaning a lot of hard work because we have big players in front of us. But I mean, it's a proof that everything is possible. It's all about getting to the floor, working hard and making things happen, everything with the people I have around me. I'm very proud to say that I'm Ivorian because all of my team is Ivorian as well. Women, men, I mean, we're very happy and we work really hard to make things happen. And today, 4 to 5 years after I started my first hotel, I'm very proud to announce that we're working on the 3rd one already, which will be a biggest one. Today, we want to open a 200 key hotel, still in Abidjan, but that one will be a pilot project to open. It will be the beginning of this big hotel chain that we want to open. We will start with Abidjan because we know the market very well. And after, definitely, we want to go in different countries. I mean, we have a lot of opportunity. So we need to focus and to see the different opportunities that we can have in other countries. And the goal is to go in all Africa, open different hotels. Why I decided to come back? Because the impact we're having in Africa today is different from the impact I think we can have in other continents. Things are happening. We make things happen. It's moving on. People, I mean, if you just have the vision of developing or making project concrete and real, it's a land of opportunity. Someone has mentioned it before, and especially, I mean, being a woman and a young woman, because what I didn't say is that I opened my first hotel, I was 21 years old. And I think that this is exceptional. And I mean, it's just in Africa that you can see this kind of opportunities. So I'm blessed for everything that I've done. And for sure, in the future, you will be sleeping in our hotel all around Africa. Thank you so much. That was me. And I hope to meet all of you one day in Africa or somewhere in the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lara. We appreciate it. Well, Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire is well represented. Lara and I, we meet in the different hotel investment conference across the continent, and that's how we know each other. We were together in Nairobi. We were in Cape Town in June together. So it's good to see you. Thank you so much, Lara.
It's my
Please
pleasure.
stick around because very inspirational. 57 Key Hotel. That is absolutely wonderful. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going fast. Please keep up with us as we fly through this. Our next speaker is from Nigeria, is Lady Clara Kinwe Okoro. She is in the audience. My lady, it's over to you to take over and speak to us and inspire us. Thank you, Lara. Clara, are you online? Clara? So if Clara is not online, maybe she's got some bit of technical issues. Can we move over to Rosemary? Rosemary, you've been with us from the beginning, Rosemary van Staden. Please take over and we will then get back to Clara afterwards. Rosemary, over to you.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening to everybody that is here today with us. It's a very, very big honor for me to be part of this program today. I started when I was around about 9 years old. My father was the leader of the train drivers in South Africa. And he assisted people that were in trouble and if there were accidents and everything. And then I had to start at the age of 9, typing all the stuff that he had to present when he go for the do the cases for the train drivers or their helpers. So I learned a lot from him as a leader. Although at school I was a very introvert and studying and reading was everything for me. And all that I wanted to do when I got older, leaving school, is want to be a typist. So after school, being a typist for a little while, I was selected to be a secretary of a big bank in South Africa. And I did it for 8 years. And then I decided, no, I don't want to work for a boss anymore. I want to do something special for people. And I was looking in Pretoria, Gauteng, South Africa, what is not in Pretoria or Johannesburg, what is needed to survive. And then I discovered that we need fine fabrics, like for wedding gowns and special functions, not normal clothing material that comes from your Chinese or your other places. I want delicate fabrics. And I was sitting with, I decided to open a textile shop where I sell fabrics. Then I sit with a piece of fabric in my hand and I didn't know what to call my shop. So the next moment, the song of Bob Hope Chantilly lace, what a pretty face, came on the radio, and I just decided, oh, this is where I am going to, what I'm going to call my shop, Chantilly Bridal and Lace. It was a sign. I believe in signs, and that's what I'm working on. I have been a very successful shop owner for 20 years. I discovered that I can design clothes, although I can't even sew on a button. But it's all in the mind. And then Lady Luck struck, and I won the national lottery. I invested the money for 5 years because I didn't know what to do with that lot of money. Then I sent my daughter and my husband to a golf school for 3 years. And for 3 years, what am I going to do? Because my whole life I was working. Then I decided, but geyser. Every place needs a geyser. So I went to 11 insurance companies, and I got 3 males that we were equal partners, and I got all this geysers to put in for the insurance. What do I know about geysers? Nothing. But I know I can buy it, and I've got the people that I can rely on, and we did a great job. There I learned a lot about building and how to structure things. After the 5 years, just before the 5 years over, I had a vision or a dream that I must start a place to look after people. And it's I don't want to bring in Christianity, but it's also about art. And because I won the lottery with Quick Picks, it was absolutely from my creator and from the universe. So I've decided I'm going to open a guest house with the name of the Angel's Place. And I'm going to look after my creators, people who are coming on my road. So in the Zuid-Afrika, if you know the book that is for sale in the European countries, funny enough, the only place they advertise in Pretoria to stay is the Angel's Place, boutique guest house. People is my passion, and tourism is my passion. My father always said you can't go with a scared dog to a war. And I'm not a scared dog. I will go to a war because I know I've got a lot of women behind me. I know the men are there to do their things to make sure that everything is going smooth. But I think we as women can definitely form a chain. And if there's any things going on that we need to stand together, can you imagine that all the women that we are together, that we start crying, shouting, talking, everything, speaking at the same time? The person that is doing that war or want to get us to change our minds, he will leave, because who can fight against a force like women, like that, what we can do. And I would like to thank everybody in the women that go sleepless nights in tourism, that are working day and night. That must be parents to people that stay here, that have got problems. We need to look after them, and we must make sure that they all are happy. And especially you get people that were in accidents or hospital people, and we need to show them the homely way that we have in tourism. Then I would like to bring to your attention a lady that is one of my idols, that is a lady that I will walk through fire for her. And she's got the name of Matsatsi Ramoela. Now, I was vice chair of the National Accommodation Association that represents all the guest houses in South Africa, the bed and breakfast and small lodges. So I ended up on Matsatsi's board, where she was the CEO of Tourism Business Council. And I think we were around about 1,000 people at the Emperor's Palace Hotel with a seminar. And without warning me before, I was called on stage. And I'm just 1 or 2 months in the industry where I'm serving on the board. And they were grilling me, and because I'm a woman, and the other people were men that were sitting on, and they were grilling me. And then I didn't know how to answer that, because I must weigh what I'm going to do now. So this lady, Matsatsi, that's here on this, she stood up and she turned to the audience and she said, "You leave Mrs. van Staden out of this now. She's new in the industry and I am not standing for it." I want to honor her today, because this is who you are working with today. And with a leader like her, we can go to war. She's not a scared dog. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mrs. van Staden. That was a surprise. I am sitting here, I'm thinking, I did not expect this one, but I'm going to deliver this message to that lady called Matsatsi. I will surely go and deliver the message to her. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. You saw the pictures of the Angels Guest House. This is why I said this is a platform for also for marketing. Your places, Lara, you should have come and showed your 57 key hotel. But this is not the last. We will do this. We need to support each other as we grow as women entrepreneurs, bringing the men with us so that we grow together. The world needs all of us to work together. Thank you so much, Mrs. van Staden. So over to our next speaker, before Dr. Soltani start telling me, get moving, get moving. Madam Clara, are you in the audience? Are you able to speak to us? Clara? Okay, I see Clara is still probably having some problem with connections. Deborah from Ghana. Debbie, are you in the audience with us? Deborah Nelson, Jane Nelson?
Yes, I am. I'm trying to revert to video. Can you see me?
It's fuzzled, it's a bit, yes, now we can see you. There you are. Over to you, Debbie. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone from sunny Ghana. First of all, I want to say I have really enjoyed the preceding contribution so much. Very impressed with the Gen Z and also the lady from Abidjan. It was mind-blowing at your age what you've been able to achieve. I'm like, I need to do more.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And she's next door. Debbie, she's next door to you. Ghana is next to Ivory Coast. Come on, collaboration.
Yes, and I've always said that I haven't been to Abidjan.
Thank you, Deborah.
So I'm definitely going to come to Abidjan, Lara. I'll take your contact and I must stay in your hotel. And also,
it's my pleasure.
Rosemary, I love that you gave Matsatsi her flowers when it was due. A lot of people don't tend to do that. And I was really impressed that Rosemary did that. And also, Siham, I really also enjoyed your part. I joined in during Siham's part. Siham, you're also doing wonderful things. And I hope to meet you one day. Matsatsi, thank you for putting this together. Thank you so much for putting this together. And when I was watching the Gen Z, I said to myself, I should have done a presentation. This is how they show us that they are really Gen Z. And actually capitalize using the opportunity to do a whole presentation. I'm here with notes. I'm like, oh, I need to do better. So I even took that point that I need to create a standard presentation. So every time I'm called on, ready. So I've learned something from the Gen Z as well. And good
Thank
to see you on
you.
here.
Good to see you
Thank you.
again.
So let me be quick because I was supposed to have been the first and I'm finding that I'm one of the last. I was told to just really just talk a little bit about my entrepreneurial journey. And so I'm going to do just that. But first of all, I know this is an Institute for Tourism, and Think Mahogany, we are more events. So I did a reflective moment this morning and I said, so how does events really play in the tourism industry? And you know, we actually are part of the tourism industry. And I say that because I even wrote this piece down, the difference between events and tourism industry. Tourism involves travel, leisure for business and others, but events are planned to attract visitors. And in Ghana, I don't know any of you, I don't know if you've heard of Dirty December. Ghana now has been able to sell the country every December with this thing called Dirty December, where the diasporans all flood into the country, especially from America, to enjoy Ghana. And that is because of the events that Ghana have created in the December month. Just like how people travel to Brazil in February and people travel to Japan in March for the cherry blossom season, Ghana is now big for December season. And that is, like I said, because of the events that we've been able to create to attract the diaspora in the season of December. So events, again, has been a big contributor to the tourism industry. And that makes me really proud. And that has also pushed me to curate events in the December season. I am co-founder of an event called the Jollof Rave, because of course, again, Ghana is known for its delicious jollof rice. And we have been fighting with the Nigerians for months about who has the tastiest jollof rice. And I would say Ghana, but let me leave that conversation for another day. But yeah, so I created an event called Jollof Rave, where I have different people in the catering space come and sell jollof rice to a wide audience. But it's not just about food. We have drinks, we do concerts at the same time. And we also give other creatives the opportunities to showcase their talents. So that's how I tapped into the tourism industry through Jollof Rave. But who is Think Mahogany? Think Mahogany was founded by Deborah Jane, that's myself, and I've been doing events for 16 years in Ghana, and I have trained over 700 event professionals in the event industry in Ghana, and a lot of them are award-winning event professionals. So that makes me also very proud. I started events not, I didn't train to be an event planner, I didn't train to be an event producer, but it was transferable skills. And there was a question that Masasi asked. This is not just about entrepreneurs, but also people in the corporate field. I picked my talent from the corporate field. I was working for somebody and it was in the health service industry. I was working for a medical laboratory and I was in the marketing department. And I was always tasked to put together events for our clients, events to attract more clients. And it was through that I realized that, hold on, I have a talent here. So I was doing events for my company. Like I said, I am very self-taught. Everything I know, self-taught. Everything I know through networking, through platforms like this. Like I said, I just learned from Anna more about flowers and how flowers, the importance of flowers. Even though I'm an event designer, I'm allergic to flowers. I always outsource, but the passion with which she even spoke about flowers, and the passion with which Lara spoke about hotel industry. And it all shows that all of us are selling passion. So it always boils down to passion. And my students always ask me, Madam Debbie, Miss Debbie, are you passionate about events? The truth is, I am not passionate about events, but I'm passionate about excellence. So everything I do, I put excellence first. For me, I'm passionate about excellence. So if you ask me to sell tomato in the market, trust me, I'm going to sell that tomato with excellence. So for me, it's always been about excellence. And that is what I teach people in all of my classes. That is what I hammer into my staff. You know what? Everything you do, don't settle for mediocre. Do it with excellence, because that excellence that is selling is not the event, but the excellence in the event that is selling. So for me, it's always about excellence. So going back, I started 16 years ago as a staff doing events for my boss. And I realized that no, it's beyond what I can do now. So I started evolving and I started my own events company. I was still working though very diligently for my boss. But 3 years later, I decided to do this full time. And it has been a blessing. But what I found was at the time, there was no distinction between an event planner, an event decorator, an event coordinator. So you go and set up for an event and one auntie comes, why is the cake person not here? And I'm thinking, I'm just a decorator. It has nothing to do with me. And then, oh, there are a lot of guests. Can you help us to serve? And I said, no, I'm the decorator. Serving your guests has nothing to do with me. Then I realized that there was a gap. So that's when I sat down and I said, you know what, I need to create what we call an event coordinator. So even if somebody has a decorator, I can sell the service of coordinating your event on the day. So I proudly say that I started the event coordination as a service in the Ghana events industry, and everybody testifies to it. 60 years down the line, we are still doing good. I'm still one of the best events coordinators, if I can say so myself. But yeah, so I found a niche, I built on it, and I'm serving the Ghana events industry to excellence with the niche I've been able to create. I don't know how far I have gone with time. Masasi, timekeeper, can we keep going or should I wrap up?
I will give you extra 2 minutes. Yes, please.
Okay, thank you very much. So with the work I have done and governance in selling excellence, I was also picked by the government of Ghana, and I have been put on the Youth Employment Agency board simply because of how much of an impact my small company has been able to create in employing the youth, in changing mindsets of people that work within the Ghana event space. So just to show that you always think you're in your little corner doing your little bit, you don't know who is watching. And now I'm a board member under the new president of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, who has become president since January of this year. So that goes to show that the little bit we do has a ripple effect and touches a wider audience. And being on the board, I've been able to also create creative, specific industry jobs. And I must say that I'm serving my country with so much pride. So that's a little bit about me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Deborah. We really appreciate it. I think I'm going to send a message to my Ghana people. You represented them well. And you embrace your African sisters and your brothers in this presentation.
I didn't pin the Ghana flag or on my suit today for work.
I promise you, seriously, very much patriotic. Absolutely loved it. Thank you so much, Debbie. We love it. We love the energy and the passion. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on very quickly. Clara, are you in the audience, please? Ghana has been on the floor. We need Nigeria to take the floor. Madam Clara, are you in the audience?
A very good evening, ma'am. Am I audible to you all?
Good evening. Good evening.
A very good evening to one and all present here. Myself.
Yes, Mr. Chauhan, yes.
So maybe we can move to the next speaker, or?
Yes, no, we will. Yeah. Because Clara is not there, we move into Dr. Shamila Chetia. She is, if Clara is not, she's going to be our last speaker. Dr. Shamila, are you in the audience? I saw you said you're online.
I am indeed. Can you hear me and see me?
Definitely, we can see Dr. Shamila. She will introduce herself, and I've instructed her strictly to be vibrant and just inspire us as she's our last speaker, because I don't see Clara being in the audience, and she will introduce herself. Over to you, Shamila.
Thank you very much, Machachi. I must say I'm so delighted to be with all of you this afternoon, and particularly to be in the company of such accomplished women, but also such warm, wonderful human beings, actually. So I'm Shamila Chetia. I am in my daytime job, a Deputy Director General in the National Department of Tourism. I have the absolute privilege and pleasure of leading a team responsible for destination development in my country. And I describe my work in this way. If you think about tourism, all tourism starts with an idea. You have to test whether that idea can actually work. And you must find the money to make that idea happen. And sometimes you might actually, find money to help other people make their ideas happen. So my team works in the infrastructure, tourism places, spaces, product development, route development space. And we are responsible for planning. We are responsible for investment facilitation. We have around 100 projects across the country that we are actually implementing in partnership with communities and other government entities. And we also run an expanded public works program, which creates jobs for unemployed, largely youth in the country. I didn't come to tourism immediately, let me say. I'm trained as a psychologist, and I really do believe that if you can work with people, you can do any job. What I have loved about my journey in the public sector is that it has enabled me to learn very many different things. And to have very many different skill sets. So I started in monitoring and evaluation, and I worked in land reform. I then worked on some really exciting projects, and I've had the privilege of being involved in the Cradle of Humankind. It's a World Heritage Site. I've also had the privilege of being able to work in Dinokeng, which is a big 5 game reserve in the edge of an urban center. And the thing that I've learned as a policymaker is that our job is to serve the people of our country. And so in whatever work we do, the first thing that we actually do is to build it for South Africans. And if there's no other advice that you take from me today, if you're in the public sector, that would be the piece of advice that I would want to share with you. In the work that you do, build first for your citizens, because what we've learned in tourism is where locals go, visitors follow. And whether those are domestic visitors or whether they're international visitors, if you build a place for locals, that's where they will go. I think that, a little bit about me. In South Africa, we have a saying, it says, Umuntu gumuntu gabantu, which basically means that we find our own humanity because other people contribute to making us who we are. And I am passionate about people. I'm passionate about hearing their stories. And I think everybody has a story to tell. And so I think I'm in the right place because tourism is really about relationships and finding relationships. I also, in my contribution to who I am, is my family, my parents and my grandparents. And the one thing that they gave me was a passion for reading. And what that did was to actually just nurture my curiosity. So I read ferociously about everything and anything, and I'm interested in a lot of very different things. And sometimes I think reading is a little bit of a lost art. But I think that it's a powerful way to ignite an imagination. If I were to leave people with advice, Machachi, there would be 2 people who I worked with who are the first set of advice. And the one person said to me, in the public sector, or anywhere for that matter, your job is to provide your best professional advice. Decision makers may not always take your advice, but you should never compromise on providing your best professional advice. The second piece of advice, when I heard it, I didn't really think it was advice, but it was from someone who said to me, it takes you about 3 years to actually be comfortable in a job. And I was very young at the time, and I thought this person must be crazy. 3 years? That's too long. But she was 100% correct, because in year one, you don't know the environment and you don't know the people. You're beginning to understand them. In year two, you actually do know the environment a little bit and you're beginning to understand the content of your work. In year three, actually, you start flying because you understand the networks that exist, and you also then are leading and directing the work. And even though I've been in the public sector now for more than 20 years, I know that there isn't a way to short circuit that. Even though when I was very young, I thought this was a very silly bit of advice, it's very powerful advice. And the last bit of advice is the thing that I have learned through all my time in working. Just stay focused on work and let it speak for you. It's very easy, regardless of where you are, to be distracted by the politics, by the people who might pull you down, by a whole variety of things in your environment. The thing that keeps me sane and has ever since I've started working is to just stay focused on the work. And it really does speak for you in your absence. And I think I will leave it there, Majaji. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shamila Chetia, for really taking the time to join us at this webinar. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. At this point in time, I just want, some of our speakers are still here. If people want to ask some questions, maybe some clarity in some of the, because we went so fast through this entire webinar, please raise your hand so we can see you and we can give you an opportunity. I'm gonna just give you this moment. Anybody with a question they want to ask before we close? Clara is having problems with computers.
Yeah, Clara is not here. Maybe I see Professor Daman Dutch.
Okay, yeah, I can't see them. Yeah, if you got a hand.
Damian, would you say some words specialized in Ghana education?
Is this a question, Riza, or are you just inviting someone to come and speak? Because I've opened up for questions for now, so if we want additional comment, is this what we're asking for?
Please.
Yeah, Damien, you have a question. So if we want an additional speaker, so I think let's finish up with the question, then we can then the person you want to invite, we can do that, because we are targeted to finish at 4:30. So I think a little bit of time we have to be able to take some few questions and then do some closing remarks. So Damien, you've got your hand up. Please unmute and then ask your question.
Great. Thank you so much. And this was a lot of fun. I always love coming to these workshops because you meet some amazing people and I see some familiar faces. I spent most of my time in Ghana and I've studied the Ghanaian education system. And whether it's there or here in the US, I have a lot of women that are my students. And I always want to find new and interesting ways to encourage them to aspire for bigger positions. My most successful student ever is a young lady who started a tourism business in Puerto Rico. And I would just love to hear from those of you in the room, the speakers, the panelists, on what you've done or additional things that you've done to encourage young women to think bigger.
Thank you so much, Damien. Who wants to take that call, that question? I mean, Deborah, you already shared that with us. Who's that? Gillian, you've got a hand next. I will take you next. Maybe let me take your question, Gillian, while the speakers decide who wants to talk, respond to Damien's call. Gillian, you've got your hand there. Please unmute.
Good morning, everyone. I'm delighted to join this conference. I'm in Kingston, Jamaica. And as you know, Jamaica is always very excited about Africa and what our African sisters are doing. I am the vice president of the Institute for Peace Through Tourism in Jamaica, because we have an organization that looks at community tourism and that looks at a tourism in which people not only come to enjoy a vacation and sand, sea, and sun, but also to get to know each other and each other's culture. And this was started by our visionary Diana McIntyre Pike, who I hope would have been here this morning. But one of my big questions is, why we're not seeing more South-South tourism. We have such an interest in Africa, and we also have things that Africa is also enthusiastic about, our music, Bob Marley, our cuisine, even we're talking about jollof rice today. And there's so much that we can share. And whereas we're getting tourism now coming from Latin America, and we're getting the tourism as far afield as from India and China and so on, we're not seeing much from Africa. And I'm wondering how we're going to get those links going.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I think we will, one of our speakers can comment on that. We really appreciate that. But I think for Reza and myself, that's an idea for our next webinar. We discuss how we can do that South-South cooperation. And I know Diana McIntyre Pike very well. We are together in the peace tourism, so we can take it offline and take it forward, because if someone is not doing it, we must get on and do it. Thank you so much. Any other question before I ask my speakers to comment on the two questions that were posed to us? Okay, so let me invite who wants to take on one of these to respond to one of them. Not necessarily hard questions. Anybody who wants to come in and respond? Deborah, you want to come in? Lara, anybody?
So, Matsatsi, maybe I can come in on the South-South cooperation. I think that it would be very lovely to connect, and I am a firm believer in practical things. So even if we just start with one thing and one connection and see how that grows, I would be happy to be part of a think tank that looks at that. And then the second point about how you inspire young people, I think I had a wonderful experience of taking a 10-year-old to work. And I didn't think too much about it, but the 10-year-old actually ended up getting a bursary to a marvelous school. And part of the reason her parents believed that was the case was because she spoke about her tourism experience. And she spoke about her day at work. So that is, for me, a lovely reminder that even if you spend a day with a young child as young as 10, you can inspire young people. I do a lot of that through the academic work to actually coach and mentor young people. And I think that just to connect people with people in business or in the public sector or in industry. My experience is that there are many women out there who are happy to mentor, happy to have a conversation, happy to help anyone, but particularly young women succeed. And I think that that has helped me as a person to grow, is just asking someone who inspired me, and they've taken the time to share with me. So that would be my feedback on those two particular questions. Thanks. And I am from South Africa. I saw that on the chat. There was a question about where I was from. Thanks.
Thank you, Shamila. Siam, you wanted to say something as well, please.
Yes, can you hear me, by the way?
Yes, please, we can hear you.
So I would like to answer Damian's question about how to inspire other ladies, the way how we work, and especially being like, not just like being women in our countries and in Africa as a whole, that's already like a step forward to the women in Africa. And this is already like a sign for inspiration to the other ladies who are coming after us. Like how I work, I always approach women. So like when I go inside families and do this activity, actually like young girls are already looking at me at what I'm doing. And like mothers are asking me, how are you taking this journey? Are you happy with it? Like, is it different? So all of these questions start to trigger off. And also like these girls are listening to it. So like some of them are saying, oh, we would like to be like you when we grow up. So like this is already like a step, thank you. This is already like a step forward to inspiring other women, and just being here, networking on other networks and like posting it on my socials that I have Moroccans like following me. That's already like a good sign that others like will take over in the future more.
Thank you so much, Siam. I see Olivetti. Linda, you have a question as well? We don't want to leave anybody behind. Please unmute and ask your question.
Thank you very much. I'm Oliver Linda Barnett from Sierra Leone. I'm the curator at the Sierra Leone National Museum. I just want to add to what my colleague has just mentioned in terms of how to catch them while they are young, these little children. And we've been doing a mobile museum and going to schools, not only the primary, the secondary and university. There we let them know our stories and how we develop our talent and how we have passion for what we have, like culture, tourism, like the hospitality industry. Looking at yourself, you know you belong to somewhere in terms of technology and all these things. These are the things we try to build on them, that they grow up and knowing their talent, they explode it and they have passion for it. And at the end of the day, they can belong in any of the hospitality industry, because the hospitality industry govern, let's say, the whole country or national, internationally. It deals with, even in the medics, where you have the medical doctor, in the barristers, where you have the lawyers, it does deals with, because when they go up, they started having these sensitivities of what they can do, and that leads them to their talent, and that's how they develop it. I do believe that next time Sierra Leone will be part of the conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Madam. We really appreciate it. And ladies and gentlemen, we unfortunately have come to the end of our conversation. I see Lady Sanya, you wanted to ask something, but I think we just about 2 minutes to go. So maybe just ask your question as we're about to close the webinar. So let me just give you that moment. I hate to leave somebody who's got a question or comment. So please just unmute yourself and make your comment, please. Lady Sanya, Western. Lady Sanya. Okay, and then Debbie, is that Debbie Lassalon?
Diblex, yeah.
Diblex, yes. We've got 2 minutes left to end the webinar. Please, if you can make it quick.
Okay, I'm connecting from Kenya, and I really liked the conversations I've been following through, the passion and the initiative. My question goes to Lara, and it's about development. And I'm curious, because we normally say expansion is not progress, sustainability is. And you're so excited and pumped up on scaling hotels to other parts of Africa, building. But we've seen how over-tourism can be a problem, especially in areas where I work in the Masai Mara, where people are building camps across migratory routes. People are building camps in rhino breeding sites. So what is the strategy behind all this, development and scaling new hotels everywhere? Have you factored in things to do with over-tourism? I mean, yes, we want the money, we want the tourists to come and enjoy these wild spaces and wildlife. But are we thinking about that in the long term, and how that will affect Africa in general? Thank you.
Thank you. Diplex is the last, and Lara, yes, as we close. Yes.
I'll try to reply in less than 1 minute, but it's a big question. I think today the main focus is to go into destination already booming, because as you said, we're looking for figures for sure, but not just figures. As I mentioned before, it's a question of impact, because opening hotel is like you're having a lot of person by your side that you have to employ and stuff. So it's a big responsibility. So for now, we're aware that the opening of hotel is definitely and should bring more people to the destination. So for the investment we're doing for the moment, for example, now Abidjan for sure, because with the energy of the city and stuff, we know that things are moving on. So it's not a big risk opening a big hotel of 200 keys by 2028. So that's the challenge we're working on now. But for the future, for example, we're targeting Ghana, Kenya, South Africa, because we already know that their destination in terms of tourism that are already like at another level. So for the moment, that's what we're working on, because we're a new company having challenges for sure. So we're looking of destination in the one, the tourism is already like strong, if I can say that, and city where people are coming. So after, maybe we will take the question on the other side and ask ourselves, how can we go in a destination where our hotel can bring more people and then more tourism? But for the moment, the main focus is going into destination with a good energy, a good things and a good booming, if I can say, moving on.
Thank you so much, Lara. Lady Sanya, I see you are back. You are our last one. I had given a chance beforehand. Please, if you can unmute and ask your question or your comment quickly.
Can you hear me now? Can you
Yes,
hear me?
ma'am.
Okay, sorry about that. First of all, this is an amazing opportunity, and I love hearing from all of the women and also men on this wonderful topic. I just wanted to tap in on the importance of involving our youth with the hospitality and tourism industry. I have been in the industry for over 35 years, and that has led me to now focus on our youth, social innovation, and also allowing them to impact our industry and the world in a positive way. So for all of those that are focusing in that area, I want to thank you, and I would love to connect. And thank you for this platform, because I see a lot of growth with our younger people and also a mentorship with those that have been in the industry for some time. So thank you again, and I look forward to connecting.
Thank you so much, Lady Weston. We really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize if we're rushing you in with our speakers, but we really just wanted to make it those little opportunities, different women to come and share their experiences so they can inspire the next generation, inspire other people who are thinking of doing some of this thing, but they're a little bit not knowledgeable as to how to approach all this. So this webinar was brought to you by the Institute of Tourism. Please visit our website. Learn more about what we do. We do events across the entire world. We are doing an event, a Global Tourism Forum, which is taking place in Brussels on the 20th of October. Please, if you are around, please go and join. We do events, we did a Women in Tourism in India the other day. We did an event on tourism in Jordan. And so we do other events across in the African continent with this event that we've done today. Yes, we will do something with the South-South cooperation, see how we can work together and really inspire, that we travel together with the International Institute of Peace Through Tourism, which is what I'm the chapter president here in South Africa for the Institute for Peace Through Tourism Southern Africa. So we work together with Institute of Tourism to really get the dialogue, share the knowledge and experiences across. So we really appreciate our speakers who have come in and take your time. All the audience across the world, we thank you so much. Please, when we invite you next time, join us. Let's build the knowledge base so that we can share with the next generation who need to take over from us as we build this world to be a peaceful place where everybody can thrive. We appreciate Dr. Reza Soltani. He is mobile where he is. He was not able to talk to us, but able to join us. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day wherever you are, and God bless.
Yes, God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We will be in touch.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Masati.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
God bless.
Okay. Yes.
We will be in touch with Diana McIntyre. Please tell her.
Thank you.
I will, and I look forward to more of your conferences.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. God bless all of us.
God bless.
Thank you.
Bless everyone.